The stars looked different from the space station. Taiho stood by the window, watching them shine. As Korea's top space scientist, he had earned this solo mission to collect data from the edge of our solar system. Just one more reading, he said to himself as he typed on his computer. The machine beeped softly in the quiet room. Suddenly, a red light flashed on his control panel. The station shook. Taiho grabbed the edge of his desk to stay on his feet. Warning, unknown object approaching, said the computer voice. Taiho rushed to the window. A huge ship hung in space. It was nothing like Earth ships. It was smooth and purple, with lights that pulsed like a heartbeat. It was at least 20 times bigger than his small station. This is Korean scientist Taiho Kim. Please identify yourself, he said into the radio. No answer came back. A beam of light shot from the alien ship, wrapping around the station. The floor under Taiho's feet began to melt away. He tried to run, but there was nowhere to go. The light pulled him up, through the ceiling of the station, into the purple ship above. When Taiho woke up, he was in a clear box. Creatures moved around outside. They were tall, with blue skin that shimmered like fish scales. Their 4 eyes blinked at different times. They wore no clothes, but their bodies were covered in thin plates that looked like armor. One of the aliens tapped on the glass. Good specimen. Healthy male. Brain scans show higher function than most Earth pets. Taiho could understand them somehow. He tried to speak, but no sound came out. His throat felt frozen. Admiral Vorx will pay top credits for this one, said another alien. His daughter's birth cycle celebration approaches. The aliens moved Taiho's box onto a floating platform. They pushed it down long hallways made of the same purple metal as the ship. Other boxes lined the walls. Some held plants. Others held strange creatures. A few held humans, their faces pressed against the glass in fear. The box stopped in a large room. Hundreds of aliens walked between rows of displays. Taiho realized with horror that he was at some kind of market. A voice boomed overhead. Next item. Human male. Age 30 Earth cycles. Excellent health. Trained in Earth science. Responds well to basic commands. Starting bid. 5,000 credits. Taiho pounded on the glass. I am not a pet. I am a scientist. I demand to speak to your leaders. But his voice made no sound. The aliens looked at him with more interest as he struggled. One tall alien in shining armor stepped forward. 10,000 credits, the alien said. Sold to Admiral Vorx, announced the voice. 2 smaller aliens moved Taiho's box to a private room. Admiral Vorx followed. He was taller than the others, with extra plates on his shoulders that glowed with blue light. Prepare it for my daughter, Vorx said. Remove any dangerous items. Implant the language chip and behavior controls. Taiho felt a sharp pain in the back of his neck. Then darkness came again. He woke up in a new place. The box was gone. He lay on a soft surface in a large room. The walls were made of a clear material that looked out into space. Strange plants grew in pots around him. A collar felt tight around his neck. A young female alien entered the room. She was smaller than Admiral Vorx, with lighter blue skin. Her 4 eyes studied Taiho with cold interest. So this is what a human looks like up close, she said. I am Hana. You belong to me now. Taiho tried to stand, but a pain shot through his body when he moved too quickly. Don't worry, pet, Hana said. You'll learn the rules soon. She tapped something on her wrist. Words appeared in the air between them. Human specimen #4728. Begin observation. Days passed slowly. Taiho's new home was nice, but still a prison. His room had a soft bed, fresh water, and food that didn't taste too bad. But the door was always locked. The walls were clear, so Hana could watch him anytime. Hana came 3 times each day. She would sit on a floating chair, tap on her wrist device, and watch Taiho. Sometimes she made him solve puzzles or run on a small track. She wrote notes about everything he did. "Pick up the blue cube," she said one morning. Taiho knew he could understand her. The chip in his neck translated her words. But he didn't want to be a pet. He sat still, looking at the floor. "Pet, pick up the blue cube," Hannah said again. Her voice was harder. The collar on Taiho's neck gave a small shock, not enough to hurt badly, but enough to make him jump. He picked up the blue cube. "Good," Hannah said. "Now the red one." Day after day, the tests continued. Hannah never spoke to Taiho as a person, only as a thing to study. "The human shows higher brain function than the reports suggest," she said into her wrist device. "It can solve level 3 logic puzzles." Most interesting. At night, when Hannah was gone, Taiho worked on his own plans. He learned that the collar would shock him if he tried to break things or hurt himself. But it didn't stop him from listening and watching. He began to understand more of the alien language. He could now tell when Hannah was talking to her father, Admiral Vorx. "Father, this human is different," Hannah said one day. "Look at these test results." Admiral Vorx's voice came from Hannah's wrist device. "They are clever animals, nothing more. Don't get too interested in it. Remember, emotions are weakness." "I'm not emotional, Father. I'm scientific. This specimen shows unusual abilities." Taiho stored this information away. Hannah thought humans were smart animals, but her father thought even that was too much interest. One evening, Hannah left her small computer on a table near Taiho's room. He watched as she went out, the door closing behind her. The computer screen glowed with strange symbols. Taiho waited an hour to be sure she wouldn't return quickly. Then he moved to the wall closest to the table. The collar didn't shock him. He studied the symbols on the screen. Some looked like math, Earth math, but more advanced. Taiho had been the best student in his university. He could understand parts of what he saw. The next day, Hannah brought a new puzzle. "Solve this," she said. It was a math problem, similar to what he had seen on her computer. Taiho solved it quickly. Hannah's 4 eyes blinked in surprise. "Try this one," she said. The new problem was harder. Taiho solved it too. "Impossible," Hannah said. "These are university-level problems." For the first time, she looked at Taiho with something other than cold interest. She seemed confused. That night, Taiho made a decision. He would show Hannah that humans were more than pets. He would make her see him as a person. When she came the next morning, Taiho did something bold. He wrote on the floor with his finger, using the dust that had collected there. He wrote numbers, the answer to a problem he had seen on her computer, a problem she was still trying to solve. Hannah froze when she saw it. All 4 of her eyes widened. "How did you?" she started. Then she stopped. She knelt down to look at the numbers more closely. Taiho knew this was his chance. He pointed to himself and said his first words since being captured. "Taiho," he said. "My name is Taiho. I am a person, not a pet." Hannah's hand moved to her wrist device, her finger hovering over a button. But she didn't press it. "How can you?" she whispered. Taiho met her gaze steadily. The wall between them was still there, but something had changed. A small crack had formed in Hannah's view of him. It was a start. Hannah didn't tell anyone about what Taiho had done. She came back the next day with new tests. Harder ones. "If you can really understand me," she said quietly, "solve this." She showed him a complex math problem on her screen. Taiho studied it carefully, then wrote the answer in the dust on the floor. Hannah checked his work. It was right. She showed him another problem. He solved that one too. After 5 more problems, Hannah sat down on the floor. All 4 of her eyes were wide open. "This changes everything," she whispered. For the first time, she pressed a button that opened a small door in the clear wall. She pushed a tablet computer through to Taiho. "Show me what else you know," she said. Taiho took the tablet. This was his chance. He began to type quickly, using the alien symbols he had learned. "I am Taiho Kim. I am a scientist from Earth. I study space and stars. I am not a pet. I am a person like you. Hannah read his words. Her blue skin seemed to pale. But the Empire says humans are animals, she said. You can't have real thoughts. Taiho typed again. We have thoughts. We have feelings. We have families and friends. I had a life before I was taken. Hannah stood up suddenly. I need to think about this. She left the room quickly, taking the tablet with her. Taiho didn't see her for 2 days. Other aliens brought his food and water. He worried he had pushed too far, too fast. On the 3rd day, Hannah returned. She looked different. Her scales seemed less bright, as if she hadn't been sleeping well. I've been reading Earth files in our database, she said. Your people have art, music, science, things that pets shouldn't be able to make. She opened the small door again and pushed through a new tablet. My father cannot know about this, she said. If he finds out I'm talking to you as an equal, he will take you away. Taiho nodded to show he understood. He typed on the tablet. Thank you for seeing the truth. I'm a scientist, Hannah replied. I must follow the evidence, even when it goes against what I've been taught. Over the next few days, things change. Hannah brought books about her people, the Voraxians. She taught Taiho about their history and science. In return, he told her about Earth. Your math is advanced, Hannah said one day, but your space travel is very basic. We are young as a space-going people, Taiho typed, but we learn quickly. Too quickly, perhaps, Hannah said. That's why the Empire takes humans as pets. They fear what you might become. One day, Hannah brought a problem she couldn't solve. It was about star patterns and gravity waves. Taiho studied it for hours, then found the answer. How did you do that? Hannah asked, amazed. I've been stuck on this for weeks. Humans see patterns differently, Taiho typed. We use feeling and logic together. Feeling. Hannah seemed confused. Feelings don't help with math. For humans, they do, Taiho explained. We call it intuition. It helps us make leaps that pure logic might miss. Hannah thought about this for a long time. The Empire teaches that feelings make thinking weak, but maybe that's wrong too. The next morning, Hannah came with a small key. She unlocked Taiho's collar. This doesn't mean you can leave this room, she said quickly. But you don't need this anymore. You're not a pet. Taiho rubbed his neck where the collar had been. He smiled at Hannah. Thank you, he said aloud, using his voice for the first time in weeks. Hannah's scales flickered with a new color, a soft pink that Taiho hadn't seen before. I want to learn more, she said quietly, about humans. About you. Taiho nodded. The wall between them was still there, but now there was a door, and it was starting to open. Over the next few weeks, Taiho's room changed. Hannah brought him books, pictures, and small objects from around the ship. The clear walls were still there, but now a door stood open most of the day. Tell me about Earth music, Hannah said one morning. She sat on the floor across from Taiho, her 4 eyes fixed on him with interest. Music is very important to humans, Taiho said. His voice was stronger now from daily use. We have many types. Some is just for thinking. Some is for dancing. Dancing? Hannah asked, her head tilting to one side. Moving your body to the music, Taiho explained. He stood up and showed a simple dance move. Like this. Hannah watched him with wide eyes. Voraxians don't dance. It would be seen as silly. Taiho smiled. Humans think dancing brings joy. We don't mind being silly sometimes. Hannah thought about this. Joy is not a goal for my people. We seek knowledge and order. Can I show you something? Taiho asked. When Hannah nodded, he used the tablet to draw. Soon, a picture of Earth's night sky appeared. These are our stars, seen from my home, he said. We make pictures from them called constellations. This one is the Big Bear. This is the Hunter. We tell stories about them. Stories about random star patterns. Hannah seemed confused. Why? It helps us feel connected to the universe, Taiho said. Humans need meaning, not just facts. Each day, they shared more. Hannah brought maps of Voraxian space, showing their vast empire. Taiho told stories from Earth's history and showed Hannah how to draw. Humans make art about feelings, he explained as he sketched a sunset. We try to show what we feel inside. We have no art like this, Hannah said softly. We have designs for buildings and machines, but nothing that shows feelings. One day, Taiho asked Hannah about her family. We don't speak of family ties much, she said. It is seen as weakness to be too attached. My father raised me to be logical and cold, to care about ideas, not people. That sounds lonely, Taiho said. Hannah's scales flickered that pink color again. I never thought of it as lonely. It was just our way. Later that week, Hannah brought a small device. This plays Voraxian sound patterns. It's the closest thing we have to your music. She turned it on. Sharp, exact tones filled the room. They had perfect math patterns, but no feeling. What do you think? Hannah asked. It's very exact, Taiho said kindly. But human music has ups and downs, like life does. Can I show you? Hannah gave him the tablet. Taiho found a simple song in its memory banks. The sweet melody of an old Korean folk song played. This is from my homeland, Taiho explained. It's about missing someone you love. Hannah listened, her eyes half closed. It makes me feel strange, she whispered, like something is pulling inside me. That's what music should do, Taiho said. It helps us feel things we can't say with words. That evening, Hannah did something new. She brought her dinner to eat with Taiho. My father would be angry if he knew, she said, but I want to learn human ways. On Earth, people eat together, yes? Taiho nodded. Sharing food is important to humans. It builds friendship. Friendship. Hannah repeated the word slowly. Voraxians have partners and team members, but friendship is rare. As they ate, Taiho noticed Hannah watching how he held his cup, how he smiled as he talked. She began to copy some of his movements. Tomorrow, Hannah said as she left, I want to learn about human poetry. After she was gone, Taiho smiled to himself. The walls between them were falling, one brick at a time. He wasn't just a pet or a specimen anymore. He was becoming her teacher. Hannah sat in her private room, looking at the poems Taiho had taught her. Simple human poems about love, loss, and hope. She read them over and over. Why do these words make my chest feel tight? She whispered to herself. For the past month, Hannah had spent most of her time with Taiho. She had stopped writing reports about him. She no longer called him a specimen or a pet. She called him by his name. When she heard Taiho's voice or saw his smile, her scales would turn that strange pink color. She didn't understand what was happening. That morning, Hannah went to Taiho's room with a new book. But something was wrong. Taiho lay on his bed, his face very pale. Taiho. Hannah hurried to his side. What's wrong? I don't feel well, Taiho said. His voice was weak, very tired, hard to breathe. Hannah touched his forehead. It was hot. You have a fever, she said. I need to get help. No, Taiho grabbed her hand. If your father finds out, he might take me away. But you need medicine, Hannah said. The air here is different from Earth, Taiho explained. Maybe that's why I'm sick. Hannah thought quickly. Wait here. She ran to the ship's medical center. She told the doctor she needed medicine for her pet. The doctor gave her some pills without asking questions. When she returned, Taiho looked worse. His breathing was fast and shallow. Take these, she said, giving him the pills. Taiho swallowed them, then closed his eyes. Thank you, he whispered. Hannah sat beside him, watching him sleep. Hours passed. She didn't leave to eat or work, She just watched his chest rise and fall, afraid each breath might be his last. "Don't die," she whispered. "Please don't die." As night came, Hannah realized something strange. She was scared, really scared. Not for herself, but for Taiho. She had never felt this way before. In the middle of the night, Taiho's fever got worse. He began to shake. "I need more help," Hannah decided. She called her friend Jisoo, a young doctor who worked in the ship's lab. "You must tell no one," Hannah said when Jisoo arrived. "This human is special." Jisoo examined Taiho carefully. "His body is fighting something in our air," she said. "I can make a special filter for him to breathe through." Jisoo worked quickly, making a small mask for Taiho. "He should be better by morning," she said. "But Hannah, why do you care so much about a human?" "He's not just a human," Hannah said. "He's Taiho." After Jisoo left, Hannah stayed by Taiho's side. She held his hand as he slept. This was against all Voraxian rules. Touching another being this way was not allowed. But she didn't care. "Please get better," she whispered. Morning came. Taiho opened his eyes. His color looked better. "Hannah," he said, "you stayed with me all night." Hannah nodded. "I was worried. Worried about a pet?" Taiho asked with a small smile. "No," Hannah said. "Worried about a friend." Taiho squeezed her hand. "Thank you." Hannah felt her scales turn pink again. But this time, she understood what it meant. Voraxians turned pink when they felt strong emotions. Emotions they were taught to hide. "I feel strange when I'm with you," Hannah admitted. "My heart beats faster. I think about you even when you're not there." "Humans feel that too," Taiho said softly. "What is it?" Hannah asked. Taiho looked into her 4 eyes. "It might be the start of caring for someone. Really caring." "Is that bad?" Hannah whispered. "No," Taiho said. "It's the most human thing there is." Hannah helped Taiho sit up. She knew now that something had changed inside her. Something her father and her people would not understand. She was beginning to feel. 2 weeks after Taiho's illness, things had changed. Hannah no longer pretended he was just a study subject. She had moved him to a better room with real furniture and windows that looked out at the stars. The door was never locked now. Hannah brought Taiho books about Earth that she found in the ship's databanks. Together they read stories about human heroes and love. "In these stories, humans always risk everything for love," Hannah said. "Is that real?" "Very real," Taiho said. "For humans, love is worth any risk." Hannah's scales turned pink again. "Voraxians are taught to avoid strong feelings. We're told they make us weak." "But what do you think?" Taiho asked. Before Hannah could answer, her wrist device beeped. "My father wants to see me," she said, looking worried. Hannah went to her father's office. Admiral Vorax stood tall and cold, looking at a screen on the wall. "Daughter, your reports about the human have stopped," he said. "Why?" Hannah tried to stay calm. "I've learned all I can from basic tests." "Strange. The monitoring system shows you spend many hours with it. What are you doing if not testing?" Hannah's heart beat faster. "Advanced studies, father." Admiral Vorax turned to face her. All 4 of his eyes narrowed. "You are hiding something." "No, father." "Your scales show pink. You are feeling emotions. About a pet." His voice was hard as stone. "He's not a pet," Hannah said before she could stop herself. "He's a person with thoughts and feelings." Admiral Vorax slammed his fist on the desk. "This is against all our laws. Humans are classified as lower beings. Your job was to study it, not befriend it." "But our classification is wrong," Hannah said. "I have proof that humans—" "Silence," Vorax shouted. "I've seen the room cameras. You read with it. You eat with it. This is disgusting." "His name is Taiho," Hannah said quietly. Vorax's scales turned dark red with anger. I will take the human for full dissection tomorrow. Its brain will be studied, then destroyed. No, Hannah cried. You can't. It has poisoned your mind with human weakness, Vorax said. After it is gone, you will return to proper Voraxian thinking. Hannah ran from her father's office, her heart pounding. She had to save Taiho. When she reached Taiho's room, she was breathing hard. We have a problem, she said. My father knows about us. He plans to take you tomorrow for dissection. Taiho's face went pale. What can we do? I have an idea, Hannah said, but it's dangerous. My friend Jisoo works in the lab near the small ships. She might help us. That night, when most of the ship was asleep, Hannah came for Taiho. She gave him a Voraxian coat with a hood to hide his face. Walk behind me, she whispered. Keep your head down. They moved through quiet hallways. Once they had to hide when guards walked past. Finally, they reached the lab where Jisoo waited. I can't believe I'm doing this, Jisoo said. If anyone finds out, I'll lose everything. Thank you, Hannah said. I won't forget this. Jisoo led them to a small door. This goes to the ship bay, she said. I set one small ship's computer to accept your code, Hannah. As they prepared to leave, heavy footsteps sounded in the hallway. Admiral Vorax's voice boomed. Security alert. Find my daughter and the human. They found out. Jisoo said, looking scared. You must go now. Hannah grabbed Taiho's hand and pulled him through the door. They ran to the ship bay where small vessels waited. There, Hannah pointed to a small silver ship. That one. Just as they reached it, the main door to the bay opened. Admiral Vorax stood there with 4 guards. Stop them, he shouted. Hannah pushed Taiho toward the ship's door. Get in. What about you? Taiho asked. I'll hold them off, Hannah said. You need to escape. I won't leave you, Taiho said. Hannah looked into his eyes. You taught me what it means to care about someone else more than yourself. Now let me show you I learned that lesson. For the first time, Hannah did something completely human. She hugged Taiho tight. Go, she whispered. Please, I won't leave you, Taiho said again. He pulled Hannah into the ship with him. The ship door closed just as Admiral Vorax reached them. They heard him shouting and banging on the door. Hurry, Hannah said. She ran to the control panel and pressed buttons quickly. Taiho watched as the ship's engine started. Can you fly this thing? Yes, Hannah said. All Voraxian children learn how to fly. She moved her hands over the controls. The ship lifted off the floor. The bay doors were still closed. They've locked the doors, Hannah said. We're trapped. Admiral Vorax's voice came through the ship's speakers. Daughter, stop this foolishness. Return the human, and I will forgive you. Hannah looked at Taiho. I can't let them take you. And I can't let you lose everything for me, Taiho said. Hannah turned back to the controls. There's another way out. The emergency launch tube. It's small, but our ship might fit. She turned the ship toward a narrow tunnel on the side of the bay. As they moved closer, red lights began to flash. Warning. Emergency launch system activated, a computer voice said. The ship shook as it entered the tight space. Metal scraped against metal. Then suddenly, they were shot forward like a bullet from a gun. Stars filled the window as they flew out into space. The huge Voraxian ship grew smaller behind them. We did it, Taiho shouted. He hugged Hannah tight. Hannah's scales were bright pink all over. Yes, but they will follow us. Where can we go? Taiho asked. There's a small trading planet nearby, Hannah said. Many different species go there. We might find help. As they flew toward the planet, 3 small Voraxian ships appeared on the screen. Patrol ships, Hannah said. They're faster than us. Taiho looked at the control panel. Can we send a message to the planet? Yes, but what good will that do? Trust me, Taiho said. He began typing on the message system. Attention traders and travelers. This is a human seeking help. Varaxian ships are chasing us. They plan to kill me for speaking with one of their scientists. Any ship that can help, please respond. Taiho sent the message. For a long minute, nothing happened. Then the message screen lit up with responses. Humans are friends to the Blixens. We will help. The Jortals stand with humans against Varaxian cruelty. Human trading partners deserve protection. Moving to intercept. Hana watched in amazement as 6 ships of different shapes appeared, moving to block the Varaxian patrols. I don't understand, she said. Why are they helping you? Humans may not have the most advanced technology, Taiho explained, but we make friends easily. We've been trading with many species that your empire looks down on. The Varaxian patrol ships stopped when they saw the other ships. They won't risk a fight with so many witnesses, Hana said. The empire pretends to be peaceful to outsiders. They landed safely on the trading planet. As they stepped out of their ship, beings of many different shapes and colors greeted them. Some had fur, others had scales, some had many eyes like Varaxians. A tall being with green skin stepped forward. I am Koda, leader of the trading post. You are welcome here, human. Thank you, Taiho said. This is Hana. She saved me from being killed. Koda looked at Hana with surprise. A Varaxian who helps a human. I never thought I would see such a thing. I've learned that my people are wrong about humans, Hana said. They feel deeply. They make art and music. They love. Her voice caught on the last word. Koda nodded. And now you know why the Varaxian Empire fears them so much. Their capacity for connection is their greatest power. Later, in a small room Koda gave them, Taiho asked Hana, what will you do now? You can't go home. Hana's scales turned a soft blue. Home is not a place. It's where you feel you belong. She took Taiho's hand. I think I've found that. Taiho smiled. We still face danger. Your father won't give up easily. No, said Hana. But now I understand what humans know. Some things are worth fighting for. 1 month had passed since Taiho and Hana escaped to the trading planet. They lived in a small house given to them by Koda. Each day, more aliens came to meet the human and the Varaxian who defied an empire. Admiral Vorex has put a price on both our heads, Hana said one morning as she read messages on a borrowed computer. Taiho nodded. We can't hide forever. What can we do? The Varaxian Empire controls hundreds of worlds. Taiho thought for a moment. Maybe we don't need to fight the whole empire. We just need to change how they think. That afternoon, they met with Koda and leaders from other species. Taiho shared his plan. The Varaxians believe humans are just animals, he said. But what if everyone could see the truth? Hana has proof in her research that humans are thinking beings with rich emotions. The Empire controls all information, said one leader. Not all, Koda said. The yearly Science Congress is coming. All major species send scientists there, even Varaxians. Hana's eyes widened. My father always goes to that Congress. He gives the main speech. Perfect, Taiho said. We can use that chance to tell the truth. For 3 weeks, they prepared. Hana collected all her research about humans. Taiho wrote a speech that would touch hearts and minds. Friends from many planets offered help. On the day of the Science Congress, hundreds of ships arrived at the Great Space Station. Admiral Vorex came with 20 guards, ready to give his speech about Varaxian greatness. Hidden among the crowd of aliens were Taiho and Hana wearing hooded cloaks. Their friends had smuggled them onto the station. As Admiral Vorex walked to the stage, Hana whispered to Taiho, Are you sure about this? We might die today. Taiho squeezed her hand. Some things are worth dying for. You taught me that. Admiral Vorex began his speech. Varaxian science leads the galaxy because we put logic above emotion. We see things as they truly are. Taiho walked forward and pulled back his hood. The crowd gasped. Is that true, Admiral? Taiho asked loudly. Or do you only see what you want to see? Guards rushed toward Taiho, but representatives from 5 different species stood in their way. "This human is under our protection," Koda announced. Admiral Vorex's scales turned red with anger. "This creature is property of the Voraxian Empire." "I am not property," Taiho said. His voice carried through the great hall. "I am a person, just as you are." Taiho walked to the communication station and pressed a button. Hannah's research appeared on the giant screens around the room. "Your own scientist discovered the truth," Taiho said. "Humans feel. We think. We love." Hannah stepped forward and removed her hood. "Father, everything you taught me was wrong. Emotions don't make us weak. They give us strength." The crowd watched as the evidence filled the screens. Brain scans showing human thought patterns. Records of human art and music. Videos of Taiho solving complex problems. "The Empire has lied to you," Taiho told the crowd. "They keep humans as pets because they fear what would happen if we were seen as equals." Admiral Vorex shouted, "Guards, take them." But the guards didn't move. One of them stepped forward and removed his helmet. "Sir, I have watched this human. He speaks truth that I have felt but could not say." One by one, other Voraxians in the crowd stood up. Scientists, doctors, even more guards, all questioning what they had been taught. Hannah walked to her father. "You can't stop this, father. Truth is like water. It finds a way through any barrier." Admiral Vorex looked around at the changing faces of his people. For the first time in his life, he had no words. That day marked the beginning of change, not just for Voraxians, but for humans too. The news spread across the galaxy. Humans were no longer to be kept as pets. They were to be treated as the thinking, feeling people they were. 6 months later, Taiho and Hannah stood on the bridge of the new ship. They had been named the first ambassadors between humans and Voraxians. "Are you ready?" Taiho asked, taking Hannah's hand. Hannah's scales glowed with that special pink color that only Taiho could bring out. "Yes," she said. "I'm ready to show the galaxy what I learned from you." "What was that?" Taiho asked with a smile. "That love is the most powerful force in the universe," Hannah said. "Even stronger than an empire."